So, Mark, I know it's not Thursday, but I feel like we have gotten off track with our Throwback Thursdays.
Yeah, where I used to tell like old fishing stories
Yeah.
and things like that. Yeah.
So, you think you might want to tell a story?
A Throwback Thursday story on a Monday?
Mix it up a bit.
Wow. Okay, well, I do have one that's probably pretty fitting.
Okay.
And it's like the emotions, it was like a combination of like one of the most embarrassing situations I've ever been in and one of the weirdest situations.
Okay.
This was after a very tough practice day, and I can't remember the lake that we were on, but there are certain things that are super vivid in my mind. I was with I was traveling with Matt, Steffen, and Miles Berghoff.
All right.
And it was a practice day. We come off the water. We went to go get dinner. We found this bar, and it was like one of these dark, old bars. I mean, big wooden bar things and things like that. And we end up going and sitting at the bar for dinner, and so meaning we weren't face to face. We were all in a line.
Right.
And I was on one side, Matt was in the middle, Miles was on the other side of Matt. And the conversation turned to their YouTube channels. Well, at that point I didn't have one. This was years ago, and I didn't. They both had YouTube channels, and they were talking about things that we've gotten into now, subscribers and thumbnails and things. I had no idea what they were talking about with regard to any of it.
Okay.
So I was pretty much excluded out of the conversation.
Right.
And I was just sitting there on my end of the bar, and not really being part of the conversation. So I was kind of, and I noticed this older couple come into the bar, and it was weird because, here we are in clothes like we were fishing, and most everybody else was pretty casual. And this older couple that came into the bar was pretty dressed up, like it was an occasion kind of thing.
Okay.
And they ended up sitting to my left. So I got Matt and Miles on my right, and I got them on my left. So I got Matt and Miles' conversation over here, their conversation over here, and I'm in the middle not really talking to anybody, and I'm kind of listening more to their conversation than I am Matt and Miles' conversation. And it was pretty obvious that they were on like a date, like an anniversary date.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, well, it was sweet for a while, and they were very affectionate towards each other, and and it was sweet. And then I overheard, I think it was the man who said to the woman something like, "Do you remember what we did the first time we came here?" So it was all making sense that they were on like an anniversary date, and there was a reason they came to this place, because this is like one of the first places that they had come to.
Right.
And so this conversation was like, "Do you remember what we did the first time we came here?" And I'm like, okay, I got to pay attention to Matt and Miles. Like, I'm like eavesdropping on their conversation, and it's getting a little uncomfortable. Like wait a minute. Except it was kind of, again, I don't know. It was one of those things. It was drawing me in. And they were, like I said, they were being affectionate, not like, weird, but all of a sudden, I know this is weird. They one of them got up and left, and then the other one got up and left, not together.
Okay.
Like, do you remember what we did the first time we were here? And then, like, they were going to do something, right? And so now I'm like, this, like the curiosity, and this is the part, again, I'm probably admitting that I was way too involved.
Voyeur?
Yeah, right, exactly. So I get up and I go down that hallway that they both walked on, and that hallway led to a back door. So I was like, oh, I'm going to go to the restroom. And
well, that's what I assumed that's what they were
except
doing.
they didn't. They went out the back door.
Huh. Okay.
So instead of me going to the restroom, I kind of peeked out the back door, and I'm looking out the window of the back door, and there they are in the alley of this bar. These two older people. And they started making out. Okay, and I'm like, okay, cool. That's what they were talking about. And I'm about to leave, and the guy like pins the woman against a fence. Not pins like in an aggressive way, but like in a sexual way. And they get against the fence, and this guy is, I mean, he's just going, this has got to be a guy that's like 75, 80 years old, something like that. And he is, I mean, now it's like, okay, this just went from, I'm really watching something I shouldn't be watching to, holy this guy's really going, like, he's like, I'm like, what is this guy, Superman? I mean, he's like, I can't tell you the moves this guy was doing. Like, now I am like, Mark, stop watching. Like, I gotta get it. I go to the bathroom. I go to the restroom. I want to get back, and I want to tell Matt and Miles what's going on, right? Like, you'll never believe this.
Because this isn't awkward and inappropriate enough.
It's totally
sharing with other people.
Absolutely. So I get back, and I'm about to like, and I'm sitting there going, do I even admit that I just did this? And the older man comes and sits next to me, and the wife hasn't come back yet. And now I'm like, do I talk to Matt and Miles? I can't really talk to Matt and Miles because he's sitting there. Matt and Miles have no idea any of this has been going on at all. So I lean up, I go to the man, I go, I'm sorry I don't even know how to say this, but I just got to tell you, I'm like major league impressed, dude. and I'm like, what do you mind, like, he's like, I've met my wife here. This is where we met X number of years ago. I don't remember what it was. I'm like, yeah, but dude, for a man your age, I mean,
you have a lot of stamina.
You have a lot of, I mean, you were pretty, he's like, well, that's what we did the first time we met. I'm like, okay, but I'm just saying, your age, he's like, well, the first time we did it, that fence that we were leaning up against wasn't electrified. So I thought that was a good story to tell on April 1st here at Mark Fisher Outdoors.
Happy April Fool's Day!
We'll see you again tomorrow, guys. Take care.